One day, after soccer practice, I was on my way home. I was being followed. My soccer practice is about 20 minutes away, so he was behind me for a long time. I was for sure that he was following me. Then, when I got near my house, I didn't want to go home, because I didn't want him to know where I lived. So I passed my house. And then, after I did, he was still following me, but then he turned into a neighborhood. So I guess maybe he wasn't following me. On a separate occasion, one day after church, my family was all in the family room. And then I went to my room for a second. When I came back, they're all gone. I looked around and I couldn't really find them anywhere. Then I looked outside and I saw that my door was open. And also my mom's coat was on the floor of our patio. I couldn't really think about why that would happen. So I went to my room. I was really quiet, grabbed my knife that I keep by my pillow at night, and I went out to check to try to find my family. While I was going out there, I didn't see anything. I just saw my mom's coat. So I started walking down. And then I turned the corner, and that's when I saw her. My mom, talking to my neighbor. So I guess one could call me a bit of a paranoid person. And there's a reason for that. Frequently, I find myself completely engrossed in crime shows. I like to know about the criminals, and I like to know about how they're solved. I can't count the number of hours I've spent watching shows like these. I get so fascinated by the intent and forethought of the criminals and of the people solving the crimes. A lot of times I would ask how accurate the crime shows are, because that's where I got most of my reasoning of criminals from. And I also wondered if they're trying to portray criminals in a certain way. A common misconception provided by crime shows is the speed at which everything is performed. This is partly because crime shows are only about an hour long, and you can't really solve a crime in an hour in most cases. A major feature in investigation that is sped up is the analyzation of DNA. In crime shows, DNA results are given in about an hour, or almost immediately, right from where the crime seems to happen. This is really inaccurate. In real life, to analyze DNA, it takes about 50 hours of lab work, which is about 6 work days. And oftentimes, even when the DNA is processed, no solution is gotten from it because it goes into the CODIS, which is the Combined DNA Index System, which is what the FBI has. It has all the DNA records of processed criminals. But if a DNA isn't in the CODIS, then it won't be found. Also, if the DNA sample is small or badly preserved, it could take even longer. A lot of other minor details also factor into a lot of crime shows. Like, if a security camera, an image is taken and a facial recognition is formed from it, a lot of times it's from a really blurry picture that they just zoom in on. And they end up getting a facial recognition somehow by enhancing the image. The jobs in crime shows are also inaccurate. A lot of the jobs in crime shows don't actually exist. Crime shows vary from different teams of FBI agents to law enforcement agents. In Criminal Minds, it's based off of FBI agents who are behavior analysis unit. A lot of what they do in real life in the behavior analysis unit is they interview criminals from jail and they'll ask them questions. In Criminal Minds, what they do is they solve crimes. Also, another thing that they do is they get to crimes immediately in Criminal Minds. Oftentimes, the behavior analysis unit is called in after when law enforcement is out of leads and they have nowhere else to go. The FBI is normally only called in if the case crosses state lines, deals with children, or is on a federal building. Also in Criminal Minds, they're analysis people, and they go in to apprehend the suspects, which is very inaccurate. In the show Bones, The main character is a forensic anthropologist. She ends up going out with her partner FBI agent and also apprehending suspects, which is very inaccurate, because you wouldn't want your forensic anthropologist going at gunpoint and getting criminals. Hawaii Five-0 is actually more accurate than the other crime shows. There are special police task forces formed. And in Hawaii Five-0, they're formed by the governor. This does happen. Governors do have their own police task force, except the inaccuracy of Hawaii Five-0 is mainly all the crimes that they deal with. Normally a task force focuses on one aspect of crime, like drugs in an area or murders. In Hawaii Five-0, they focus on all sorts of crimes, threats of terrorism, murder, and just any crime. Another major inaccuracy of crime shows is the rate at which the crimes are solved. In nearly every show I watch of a crime show, a criminal is apprehended and taken in. This is really incorrect. Specifically with homicide cases, only about 60% of cases actually apprehend a suspect. And it depends on where the area is as well. The Detroit Police Department reported making 34 out of 365 arrests. That's only 9% of their homicide cases. New Orleans wasn't much better. This was in 2012. This is such an old statistic because cities have stopped reporting their crime rates to the FBI, which means the percentages might be even lower now. Crime shows definitely don't portray how often crimes are actually solved, and it doesn't seem like the actual police do either. The most accurate thing about crime shows is the terminology that they use in them, as well as some of the scientific methods that they use to solve the crimes. However, they are sped up, which sometimes make them inaccurate, and also some of the cases are realistic and they are based on real scenarios. But the jobs that people have in crime shows are very inconsistent with what the jobs are in reality. The purpose of the inaccurate crime shows is mainly for entertainment purpose, but it also may be done in ways to provide a false sense of security. Thank you.